What's going on, you guys? So recently I got a hold of Toy Story 1, 2, and 3 all on 4K, and I'm going to take my daughter to see Toy Story 4 here next week. So I figured why not try and review them all before I see Toy Story 4, or at least watch them all. I'll try and get all the reviews out whenever I can. So yeah, this is my review for Toy Story 1. It came out in 1995, November 22nd. It's got a runtime of 81 minutes, about an hour and 21 minutes. It's directed by John Lasseter. I think I'm pronouncing that right. He went on to do a Cars, A Bug's Life. He did Toy Story 2. He did lots of work on other, even voices on other cartoons, but like those are the big ones that popped out to me. The movie is starring, and not necessarily starring, but the voices of these actors that I'm about to list off. So, Tom Hanks plays Woody, who does all, I gotta say right off the hop, all the voice actors in this do a phenomenal job, and I love all of them. They're all iconic. So yeah, Tom Hanks plays Woody, Tim Allen plays Buzz, Don Rickles plays Mr. Potato Head, loved him. Wallace Shawn plays Rex. I might be meeting him in October, which would be awesome to get him to sign this or something like that. Um, Arlie Emery plays Sergeant, who plays the sheriff in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the 2003 version. And I actually didn't know that until I watched it this time. I thought that was pretty cool. I really like that actor in most movies he's in, so I like seeing that he was in that. I didn't know that. And there's many other talented voices in this movie, but those were just some of the bigger ones that I thought were worth mentioning. I noticed when I watched it a second time that some of the screenplays done by Josh Whedon. I didn't know that. I was kind of pumped to see that, to be honest. The cinematography in this movie is awesome. The special effects are crazy for 1995. And seeing it on Blu-ray, I'm so glad I got this on Blu-ray. It looks so much better, and this movie is so much better than I even remembered, to be completely honest. But Randy Newman does the score and soundtrack to this movie, and I gotta say, without him, I don't think this movie would be as good personally. Like, I think he knocks it out of the park and makes this movie just phenomenal. The soundtrack, the score for certain parts, and then just some of his original songs. It fits the movie and certain parts of the movie just so well. And yeah, I don't know that this movie would have did as good without him. But I love the story beginning to end. I give this movie a 10 out of 10, perhaps because I grew up on this movie when I was a kid. I was born in 92, so this movie like really hits home for me. So I give it a 10 out of 10, and I may be a little biased. I don't know what you guys think of it, but you can let me know in the comments below. But yeah, I'm going to get on to spoiler territory here. It's basically just I jotted down parts of the story I liked, and I gotta admit, like, I love every aspect of this story. There's going to be a lot of spoilers in here, but I like the story beginning to end, so I figured I'd just take the parts that I like the most, and there's actually quite a few of them, so this might wind up turning to be a little longer than I intended, but whatever, it is what it is. So yeah, basically the movie starts out and they're getting ready to move, but there's having a birthday party because it's Andy's birthday, and I want to say his birthday is after they move, so they decide to have the party sooner. And this is when you meet all the toys, and they're all in shambles, and they don't know what to do, and like they're getting ready for the party. They're worried they're going to get replaced by new toys, rightfully so. And it's like you just get to meet everyone. I love this sequence. I love everything about it. Yeah, you meet Rex, Potato Head. You meet them all except Buzz, and he comes on later. Some characters go on as the story go on, but the main crew, you meet them all here. So after the party, he doesn't get like any toys, and they're like right pumped. All the army men went down on the secret mission. I love that. I always play with my army men picturing them from Toy Story when I was younger. But yeah, so he gets no new toys really, and they're all pumped. And then out of nowhere, Andy's mom gives him a Buzz Lightyear, and they're all like, "What is it? What is it?" And anyway, it leads on. Buzz Lightyear winds up taking Woody's place as like Andy's favorite toy, or one of the favorite toys. You see the Woody bed sheets turn to Buzz bed sheets. It's actually kind of sad. I remember being sad as a kid watching it, and just watching it again now, it's like it is pretty sad seeing it. Shortly after we're introduced to Buzz, we're introduced to Sid, who's the neighbor next door. He's this psychopathic kid. He blows up toys, other people's toys, maybe his own toys. He's just a psychopath, likes destroying toys. Anyway, you can see why Woody and the gang are kind of terrified of him. But yeah, they introduce us to Sid, and Sid, right off the hop, he blows this army man up to a bunch of pieces. It's kind of brutal, but it's only toys, so I mean, And I gotta say, there's a lot of crude jokes that I didn't notice when I was a kid. Upon rewatching it now, I noticed a lot of the crude jokes, and I like them, and I don't know how I didn't notice some of them sooner, to be completely honest. So, the night before Andy's moving, Andy's mom decides to take them to Pizza Planet, and basically Woody knows that Andy is going to take Buzz instead of Woody. So Woody's a little jealous. He winds up going through all this stuff, pushes Buzz out the window, and then the rest of the gang accuse him of being a murderer and all this. Anyway, Andy winds up taking Woody to the gas station, and Buzz hops on the car when they're on their way there, and then they stop at the gas station, get gas, they go in to get a treat or something, I don't remember. But anyway, Woody and Buzz get in a fight, they fall out of the car when the car leaves, and they're stuck at this gas station, they don't know what to do. And I always loved this part as a kid, like Woody taking the fly off of Buzz's mask. I've always loved that part, that whole sequence. And then they wind up getting to a Pizza Planet truck pulls up, so they know that this is going to where they need to go. So they hop in it. Buzz gets up front and puts the belt on. And Woody's like, no, screw that, and hops in the back. And there's this toolbox sliding around all over the place, just smashing into Woody. I've always loved that part. I thought it was longer when I was a kid, and upon watching it this time, it's only like friggin' 5 to 10 seconds. I was like, holy crap. I thought it was longer than that, but just shows what you remember as a kid, right? But, yeah, the toolbox sliding around. So basically they find themselves at Pizza Planet, right? And there's this big claw machine, like you put the coin in, it goes down, you grab like a toy dispenser type thing, you try and win a toy. Anyway, Buzz thinks it's a spaceship, jumps on in it. Woody goes in after it, trying to save him, and there's all these aliens that are obsessed with the claw, and that part has always stuck out to me. Like, one of the biggest parts in the movie to me is the claw. Like, that stuck with me for years, always making jokes about it and stuff. Anyway, the claw comes down, wins an alien, it comes up, and you see Buzz's face, and who's controlling the claw but Sid? So Sid sees Buzz, goes down, actually wins Buzz, pulls him up, and Woody's hanging on to him. So Sid just won Buzz and Woody, and won with like a toonie. And yeah, he takes them back home, and I remember seeing this for the first time, being terrified, like what is going to happen to these toys? And as soon as they get to Sid's place, he opens the bag. You're like, oh no, not Woody! And he grabs the alien, chucks it to the dog. The dog just destroys it. Well, it doesn't quite destroy it, because you do see it later on. But yeah, like right off the hop, you're like, okay, Sid is not messing around. But yeah, shortly after this happens, we're introduced to Sid's toys or creations, and they are creepy as hell. Like, not so much this time watching it, but the first couple of times when I was a kid watching, I hated these toys. Even when you find out they're good, you're still like, I don't really trust them. But like, let's see, there's a spider baby missing an eye with, like, it's a spider, robotic spider with a baby head missing an eye, and it just looks so creepy. And there's these legs with like a fishing rod going around. I've always thought these toys were just creepy as hell. The little pterodactyl baby, I don't know. I thought it was cool, but they've always creeped the hell out of me. And not too long after this, Buzz winds up seeing a commercial for, like, they're selling Buzz Lightyears at Big Al's. And basically this just kind of makes him realize that he's not a toy. It's kind of sad, and he's right depressed, sees an open window, goes to fly, falls, breaks his arm off. And shortly after, you think he's having an identity crisis or something. That's what I thought when I was a kid. But watching it this time, he's just hammered. Like, he's drunk, pretending to be whoever, Mrs. whatever. I forget her name off the hop. But anyway, he's drunk, pretending to be this person because Sid's sister was playing with him, got him dressed up as a doll. Anyway, he looks hammered, and I roared at this. I don't know how I never clued in that he was drunk before. But yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. So the story goes on. Sid's about to launch Buzz up on a rocket or whatever, and he's saying stuff, and then all, like, out of nowhere, all he hears, "Reach for the sky," and then that's when I was like, oh, like, what's going on here? And Sid looks over. I didn't realize the toys could talk to the humans, right? And even a little bit before that, he yells to Sid's sister, and it throws me off because, like, I never realized that. But yeah, he's like, "Reach for the sky." Sid goes over, and Woody starts saying all this stuff to him. And as he's saying all this stuff, all these like zombie toys start emerging. I've always thought that scene was so creepy but so cool and epic because they're like on our side, but still it's like it's got a kind of creepy tone to it. That's probably one of my favorite scenes, if not this whole last little bit is probably my favorite sequence in the movie, really. But I like the whole movie. I just love beginning to end. So yeah, Woody winds up saving Buzz, and all the scary toys freak Sid out, and he takes off. Anyway, they're trying to catch up. The moving van is leaving, and Buzz and Woody are trying to catch up to it, and they eventually do get onto like the strap. But Sid's dog grabs a hold of Woody, and you hear a little tear and everything. And to save Woody, Buzz jumps off and grabs the dog's eyelids and gets thrown under a car. And yeah, basically Woody goes on to the moving truck and opens a bunch of boxes and pushes RC out. All the other toys think he's trying to murder RC because he just pushed Buzz out a window too, right? So they wind up throwing him like off the truck, and like he falls down, and then the RC and Buzz wind up picking up Woody, which I've always loved that scene too. But right during that scene, I made a little note here because I thought it'd be worth mentioning. It goes to Andy's sister in the car, and they're singing Hakuna Matata. I love that. I don't know why. I just thought I'd put that in here, but I love stupid little crossover things like that. So Woody winds up lighting the rocket with the Buzz's helmet. Like the sun's glaring through it, and he lights it. And like briefly before then, he got the same kind of burn on his forehead through a magnifying glass from Sid, and that burn actually stayed for the rest of the movie. I kept an eye on that. I thought that was cool. But yeah, the rocket blasts off. They drop RC into the truck. I love this part. They're flying, and then Woody's like, "We're flying," and Buzz is like, "No, we're falling with style." And then he's like, "To infinity and beyond." And then they realize that the rocket's gonna blow up, that happens right before. Buzz hits the button to make his wings go out, and it makes the rocket go off and blow up. And then they actually kind of fly, plop right in Andy's rig, and then Andy's like, "Oh, Buzz and Woody," and his mom's like, "I told you they were here the whole time." And then happy ending. It goes on to Christmas the next year, and then the army men are in the Christmas tree, and sure enough, they get a dog, setting up the sequel. And I won't touch nothing on the sequel until my next video. But yeah, I love this movie beginning to end. Those are all my favorite parts. I know I missed a couple, but I can't put everything in these reviews. But I give this movie a 10 out of 10. I love the soundtrack. I love the voiceovers. I love the CGI. I love the story. I loved everything about it. I highly recommend you going out and trying to pick up Toy Story on 4K, even Blu-ray. But definitely try and get it the best you can. That's what I try and do anyway. But let me know what you guys thought of Toy Story in the comments below, and I'll try and get Toy Story at least 2 out before I go see number 4. I'll try and get 2 and 3, but I'm not guaranteeing 3. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought of Toy Story 1 in the comments below, and have a good one, guys. Take her easy.